Marcia Winbeckler, and my husband Roland and I own CakeSuppliesPlus.com. We're professional cake decorating instructors, and we've appeared on the Food Network and TLC's Ultimate Cake Off. Today I want to show you how to use some brooch molds, and I really like these clear molds. You can see where you are putting your material inside, and they are very high quality. Now, to make the Isomalt brooches, I'm going to use the Sassy Shot sugar melting gun. I have it plugged in, and the lights here are green. That just means it's on standby. And first I'm going to take off the back protective cover here and insert my Sassy Shots Isomalt stick in, and these fit perfectly in there. Press it down until you feel some resistance there. Then I'll put the cover back on. And by hitting the mode button once, for instance, if I hit it once, you can see it's blue flashing, and it would go solid blue when it's at the cool temperature once it's finished heating up. I want it to the high temperature, so I will hit it one more time, and it shows pink lights along here, and I'm not sure how well they show in the video. Now it has stopped flashing, and I'm not sure if you can see, but here it's solid pink on these lights on the spine of the handle, and so that means that it's heated up to the warmest temperature. And so now I would simply put this over the mold that I want to use. I want to pull on the trigger, and the sugar will come out in the mold. And you can just kind of direct it to the different areas of the mold. Then you can just kind of rotate around the mold and make sure that sugar gets in all the little nooks and crannies of the mold. And if necessary, you can take a toothpick and kind of draw it out into some of the pointed areas. And then depending on how you want to use the mold, you can either let it cool at this point and set up, or if it's a piece that's just going to be decorative, I like to put some of disco dust on the back, and that makes it much more reflective and looks much more jewel-like. And I'm using a handy little bottle here that we sell on our website, and it gets the disco dust more in the areas that you want versus all over the place. So I'll just cover the back of the design here, and then I'll let it cool. And if you find that you're not seeing through that so much, you can take a creme brulee torch and give it a real quick once over. And I've got mine here. I'll just go over, and it clears up the sugar a little bit, gets rid of any air bubbles on the surface, so that you get a much more reflective look underneath. And so it looks something like that at this point. Now I have some gold sparkle dust that I've mixed with a little bit of vegetable oil, and I'm going to go around and paint any of the areas that I know would be like a metallic gold. If the metal was gold on this, could be silver or white gold, but I'm just I wanted to use yellow gold, so it shows a little bit of a difference, so you can see what I'm talking about here. And I'll just go kind of around most of these jewels. And on the Isomalt or sugar brooches, you have to use the oil, because if you use vodka or water, it will dissolve the sugar. So now I want to show you how I can combine using fondant and Isomalt in the same mold. For instance, this design, it would be pretty if the center one looked like a pearl, so I'm going to use a piece of fondant in there and then fill the remainder with Isomalt. So I just want to take a little circle of fondant, get it nice and smooth, and put it down in that portion, and make sure it does not go any place except where I want it. And that's what's nice about these clear molds, is you can see right where it is. It hasn't gone out into the outer area there. And then I just want to fill the remainder of the mold with the Isomalt. Try to get it around the design and fill it all the way up. And then rotate it around to get it in all the little nooks and crannies. And I wanted to show you, if you don't have one of the sugar melting guns and you're going to be melting your sugar in the microwave, and you have the sticks, an easy way to break up the sticks and not have them shatter all over the place is I like to use my PVC pipe cutter that I also use for cutting dowels, etc. And I just stick it inside stick the Isomalt stick inside of the PVC pipe cutter, and then just gently tap and it breaks nice and cleanly. And you can cut it down to little pieces so that it melts quicker. Just like that. Now I want to show you how to make a gum paste brooch that looks like a cluster of pearls. And so I have my gum paste here worked up, and you want to get one side nice and smooth, and that's the side that I'm going to put down into the mold. And I have some super pearl here that I have in my pump brush, and I'm going to put that on the outside of this, and I'll probably add more later. And the reason I'm not adding it to the mold is because you can get too much in some areas and then it'll kind of deform. It won't make the pearls quite as smooth, so I want to put it in like that. That'll keep it from sticking a little bit too. And these clear molds, you can see if you've got any air bubbles or anything in there, which is really nice. And I'm going to take my palette knife and go from the center out. And I have some vegetable oil cooking spray on my palette knife to make it glide nice and smooth. And just want to come out. The reason you go from the center out is because if I went the other way, it would pull the edges in. Go back and keep making cleaner edges on it. You don't want any fraying or anything on your edges. Pearls don't have frayed edges. And with this mold being clear, I can go to the back side even and make sure my edges are nice and clean there. And then once I'm satisfied that I've got the edges nice and clean, then I can put it in the freezer for about 10 minutes. And I just want to peel back on the edges there and get it to kind of gently pop out. You don't want to deform it at all. And there's what it looks like. And if I wanted to add more pearl dust to it later, I could go back after it's set up a little bit and brush on some more pearl dust. To make this design as a gum paste brooch, I'm just going to press it into the mold. Take my palette knife that I also have a little bit of the vegetable oil spray on, and work from the inside out again. And I just keep working from the inside out till I get nice clean edges on the gems on the edge here. These little spots here, those are supposed to be they're part of the mold design. Now I'm going to freeze it for about 10 minutes again. Now for this brooch mold, I just used gum paste and I didn't add any dust to it. I waited until after I've unmolded it, and then I'm going to brush it with, this is gold sparkle dust. And I want to get that over the entire design. I just took it out of the freezer a little bit ago, and so it's still a little tacky, and that's going to make this stick really well. And then I'm going to let it set up. Now that my gum paste brooch with the gold sparkle on it has set up, I'm going to use a little bit of the Sassy Sap gum glue here, and a brush, and just in the gem areas of this brooch design, I'm going to brush some of the Sassy Sap over where the gems would be. And I'll start with the big ones first and then work my way down. And a little dot on each one of these gems in the center. So again, I have my disco dust in one of these little dispenser bottles that we have on our site, and I'm just going to squeeze over the areas that I want it, and all the little gem areas. And you're of course going to have, you know, way too much on here, and so after this sets up, you can take this wax paper, fold it in half, and put the excess back in your little bottle, and it's not wasted. And then we just let it, the gum glue set up. So once my gum glue has set up enough, I can pick this up and sort of tap off any excess from the back side here. Tap it and let it come off, and you'll see most of it's gone in the areas that I wanted to be gold. And then you can even take a brush and brush out any that didn't come out of the areas there. But here's one that I've done in red, and see, there's really not much of the red disco in any of those areas because they were dry and firmer, and the sticky areas where the gum glue was is where the red disco dust stuck.